This is one of the most epic adventures of Greek mythology. But before we jump into the story, let's talk about Jason's background. Jason's dad, Aeson, was said to be king of Iolcus in Thessaly. No one knows who his mom was for sure. Some say Alcimede, others think she might have been a goddess. Regardless, Jason's upbringing was pretty typical for a Greek hero. His dad landed in prison by his half-brother's hand, but his mom saved him by tricking the king. Sent to be raised by Chiron, a centaur on Mount Pelion, Jason grew up unaware of his royal roots, but destiny had other plans, setting him on a legendary journey. Let's check out the myth of Jason and the Argonauts and the legend of the Golden Fleece. You know someone's destined for greatness when they end up under Chiron's wing. Now, Jason's early years were pretty low-key after his dramatic entrance into the world. But as a young man, he started making waves. There was a massive boar causing chaos in Caledon, and everyone was freaking out. But when it came time to slay the beast, Jason stepped up to the plate, even though most people didn't even know who he was. And he was still in his teens when he did this. By the time Jason hit 20, he decided it was time to head back home. But when he got there, he found out King Peleus was ruling the roost. Peleus was paranoid about someone challenging his throne, just like he did to his own brother. So he consulted an oracle, who warned him to keep an eye out for a guy with only one sandal. On his journey home, Jason helped an old lady cross a river, unknowingly Hera in disguise, losing a sandal in the process. Arriving in the city, his one sandal mark revealed his identity. Peleus, fearing Jason's rightful claim, devised a plan. Jason, prompted by Hera's guidance, proposed retrieving the Golden Fleece to secure his throne. Peleus agreed, setting an almost impossible task for Jason. Jason, undeterred, secured the legendary Argo and assembled a top-notch crew, the Argonauts, including heroes like Heracles, Achilles' father, and sons of Zeus. With their elite team, they embarked on their epic journey. Along the way, they encountered fascinating people who joined them, like Palamon, son of Poseidon, who could walk on water, Meleager, a prince from Caledon, and Atalanta, the lone courageous woman in the crew. Despite Heracles' renown, he deferred to Jason, who was chosen as their captain for the voyage. Off to Colchis they sailed, leaving Thessaly behind. Colchis, spanning parts of Russia, Georgia, and Turkey, mostly lies in Georgia. Their first stop was Lemnos, an island where women mysteriously slew their husbands, cursed by Aphrodite for disrespect. King Lycus, the only surviving male, is ousted by his queen daughter. Upon the Argonauts' arrival, the alluring queen delayed their departure, but Heracles urged them forward. They left behind tangled legacies, including Jason's twins with the queen. Next, they encountered the Dolions, descendants of Poseidon, whose hospitality is overshadowed by a warning about six-armed giants, the Gegonese. Heracles and his crew then had to fight against the giants' raid, bolstering his campaign for captaincy, but it was obvious that Jason was the best leader of this crew. Having set sail once more, they unexpectedly found themselves back at King Aeetes' domain, which led to a deadly misunderstanding and a change in rulership. After a hasty reconciliation and departure, they faced more challenges, including a tragic incident at the River Sus, where tensions among the crew escalated. When 3 members were left behind, suspicion fell on Jason, sparking a potential mutiny until a sea god intervened, averting disaster. Sailing onward, they encountered the Barians, tough fighters from Thrace, whose king challenged them to a deadly brawl. Polydeuces stepped up and inadvertently killed the king. They then came across Phineus, a prophet cursed by Zeus, besieged by harpies. With the crew's help, they fended off the creatures, earning valuable guidance from Phineas for their perilous journey ahead, including navigating the treacherous clashing rocks. All right, buckle up, because this part of the journey got seriously dicey. There was these massive cliffs called the clashing rocks that slammed together whenever someone tried to pass. But our crew wasn't about to let some rocks ruin their day. Thanks to Phineas's advice, they sent a dove ahead as a test run. When the rocks crashed, the bird lost only its tail feathers. So, seizing the opportunity, they darted through while the rocks were recovering. After that, the crew sailed on to the Black Sea. There, they met King Lycus, who wasn't exactly rolling out the welcome mat, especially after hearing about their clash with the Britons. Luckily, no royals ended up on the casualty list, but they did lose a few more crew members to illness and a run-in with a wild boar. Guess what? Just when they thought they were doomed, they stumble upon 3 survivors of Heracles' adventures. And get this, they even meet a ghost who led them to his buddy's hiding spot. With their crew boosted, they kept sailing until they hit the Thermodon River. Sounds like a chill spot to take a break, right? Nope. Turns out it was Amazon territory. So they dashed to a deserted island with an Ares temple. Inside, they found 4 more survivors, including the river god's kids and the king of Colchis' grandkids. After a quick rest, they hit the seas again, sneaking closer to Colchis. But instead of making a big entrance, they slipped into the backwaters to stay low. Little did they know, Hera and Athena were cooking up a plan to use the king's daughter, Medea, to get the Golden Fleece. Now, here's the thing. The crew realized they needed a plan to grab that Golden Fleece. Their move? Get Medea to fall for Jason with a little nudge from Aphrodite, the love goddess. But when they dropped by Aphrodite's, they walked in on her and her son Eros having a heated squabble. Anyway, they managed to sway Aphrodite by offering Eros a shiny golden ball that left a trail of gold dust wherever he flew. Back in Colchis, Jason decided to play it cool and opted for negotiation instead of storming in like a bull in a china shop. He brought Medea's nephews along as a goodwill gesture, but things took an unexpected turn when Eros zapped Medea with his love arrow and boom! She was head over heels for Jason quicker than you could say, love at first sight. So, Jason reluctantly agreed to the king's demands and shared the truth with his crew. Meanwhile, Medea was torn between her family loyalty and her growing feelings for Jason. So she poured her heart out to her sister. After some soul-searching, she decided to help Jason out, even if it meant going against her dad. Yeah, Cupid's arrow can be pretty powerful, but not as powerful as your desire to like this video and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. But Medea was feeling the pressure big time, and at one point, she even considered ending it all. Thankfully, she decided against it and struck a deal with Jason outside a temple. She would help him, but only if he promised to make her the top sorceress in Greece. Oh, and she warned him not to mess with her, or else. Smooth-talking Jason asked Medea to be his future wife, but she wasn't ready for that step just yet. Still, she gave him some solid advice for the challenges ahead. Back with the crew, opinions were mixed about teaming up with Medea, but in the end, they decided to go for it, and Jason set off to tackle the tough tasks ahead. It wouldn't be easy, but with Medea's help, they might just pull through. Jason and his crew had quite the adventure. They stumbled upon warriors sprouting from the ground, but Jason's quick thinking saved the day. Then, they faced off against a giant serpent guarding the Golden Fleece, but Medea's potion knocked it out cold. Heading home, They dodged angry Colchian ships, but smooth talking kept them out of trouble. However, Zeus threw a curveball, stranding them in Libya with a gust of wind. Luckily, they met 3 nymphs who showed them the way home, even if it meant dragging the Argo across a desert. And Jason's return home was quite the spectacle, but his journey had its share of ups and downs. Getting involved with Medea? Not the best decision. And that cursed wedding dress, let's just say, it didn't end well. Despite reclaiming his throne, Jason's joy was short-lived. His ironic demise came when the old Argo collapsed on him while he was napping. Jason's life was a roller coaster, showing us even heroes have flaws. But that's what made his story so captivating, right? And if you're hungry for more myths, check out this next video on other Greek heroes who left for epic journeys. Just avoid Lemnos. It's not worth the trouble.